What's up, guys? It's RTG, and I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I don't really want to get into why I've been gone for a year and a half, mostly because I don't have a legitimate excuse, but I decided to come back because people somehow still like to watch my content, which is cool. So today we're talking about we're actually talking about 4 tragic deaths that happened in the middle of a game. This is kind of a sad video to start with after coming back, but it's one that I think is really important to cover just because there's some interesting stories and some sad stories. So, the first one we're going to cover is Hank Gathers. Now, I'm sure most of you guys know this one, considering ESPN made a documentary a little while back called Guru of Go about Loyola Marymount and Hank Gathers' story. But I'm basically going to give a brief synopsis of that documentary. Loyola Marymount was basically one of the most exciting teams in basketball. They scored over 120 points basically every game. They were like Phoenix's 7 seconds or less. And the leader of this offense was none other than Hank Gathers. After show-stopping alley-oop, the crowd went wild. Hank then jogged joyously back to half court, where he suddenly collapsed. While most of his teammates thought he was joking, doctors rushed out on the floor. During this time, you could hear a pin drop. And, tragically, Hank was pronounced dead a few hours later. This event shook the entire basketball world, and the rest of the season had to go on without Hank. They made it a couple rounds into the NCAA tournament, but Loyola Marymount, without their star player, wasn't able to do much. And that's the basic story of Hank Gathers. It's quite a sad one, and I'd recommend that you watch that 30 for 30 because right here my video does not do it justice. The second player we'll be talking about is Lenny Pierre. And although he didn't really die during the game, this was still right before a game, so I'm going to count it. Lenny Pierre was with his teammates at John Brown High School when he went into cardiac arrest around noon. The Wildcats were preparing for the Queen's Jam Christmas Classic tournament at the school on Saturday against the Bronx's Monroe Campus High School. School staffers immediately called the police, and when they arrived at the school on Main Street, the 6'6" varsity basketball player, who wore number 31, was unconscious and unresponsive. Pierre was then taken to New York Presbyterian Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Richard A. Carranza, the school's chancellor, said, quote, "This was a tragic loss, and my heart is with the student's family, team, and school community. We will provide additional guidance counselors and support to the school community for as long as it is needed, and we are working with NYPD and agency partners as they conduct a thorough investigation." And to think that this happened the day after Christmas in 2018 is very tragic. The next player that died in the middle of the game was Wes Leonard. Credits go to another YouTuber similar to myself named Handles Up. I'll link his channel in the description. He did a full-on video about this kid, and it's quite sad. Wes Leonard was a 16-year-old Fenville High School basketball player who died on a Thursday night in February 2011. On that fateful night, Leonard had scored the game-winning layup in a 57-55 win over Bridgman High School in overtime to cap Fenville's 20-0 season. He collapsed after teammates and fans rushed the court. Paramedics performed CPR on Leonard before he was pronounced dead at the hospital, but unfortunately, it was too late. Leonard's teammate, Shane Bale, told the Holland Sentinel, "It's tough to take in. It's like somebody from your family, you know?" Immediately after the game, dozens of classmates, friends, and family members posted on Facebook asking for prayers and support. Coach Cleaner said, "There are things you never, ever want to have to address, particularly with a situation like this, where Wes was so widely known and respected and revered. This is extremely tragic, and although this happened more than 8 years ago, keep Wes Leonard in your prayers." So the last player we're going to be talking about is James Hampton. James Hampton was one of the top high school basketball players in the state of North Carolina, but he tragically died on Saturday, May 26, 2018, after collapsing midway through a game. With all due respect to the other candidates, this could be the most tragic case of all the ones I've covered. To see how he was a young rising star, and for his life to be taken away from him just like that, is very tragic. Well, that's the end of this video, and I hope to be uploading a lot more than I have in the past year and a half. Please consider subscribing, leave a like, and comment down below if you guys have any good video ideas for later on. Thanks for watching, guys.